Welcome to Dude Wrong Door, episode 14?
Yeah, it's 14.
Okay.
You got it. You nailed it.
Alright, that's it.
Jan
Bye.
would be here, but Jan's at Dragon Con.
Allegedly.
He did see Psycho Stick live.
Allegedly.
We did get, I guess so. Jan, he could have photoshopped / CGI'd that whole thing. He is a very capable man. He edits our videos, some of them.
Oh, so he's not that capable. I've seen our videos.
But yeah. Okay, I thought this article was going to talk about the critical / monetary reception to The Defenders, but apparently it didn't. It was saying that it's not as good as Netflix wanted. Like, it wasn't as popular as they wanted it to be. So, I wonder what that means.
How could it... I mean, surely to God, they didn't think it was going to bring in, new subscribers.
I mean...
Because,
I think it definitely should have hit harder than it did. It didn't feel like the TV show version of The Avengers. I'm saying I liked the show, but...
critical... Or, the political... Not political. The public perception.
Yeah, I feel like the public perception, especially since, everyone owns Netflix. Yeah. You'd think I would have been hearing more about it, but I mainly heard about it from me and, a couple of friends that also watched it, but I think... I don't know. I'm pretty sure it definitely underperformed, especially considering, Daredevil 1 and, Daredevil Season 2, everyone was talking about those. Those were huge hits. So many people were talking about Jon Bernthal after, Season 2 came out and talking about The Punisher and stuff, and, The Punisher was popular and being talked about again. Not a lot of people talking about The Defenders.
Honestly, and this is maybe just me, re-supporting my own ideas, but I think it's because Iron Fist sucks so bad that everyone was like, Defenders is probably going to suck. I bet a lot of people still haven't watched it. It took me 2 or 3 days to start it. It's
so difficult. And I powered through it because it just felt like I needed to.
No, not Iron Fist. It took me 2 or 3 days to start The Defenders.
Oh, right. Yeah, the first episodes are focused around Danny, and they're awful. Because Danny is awful at that point in the show. In the beginning, it does not get off on the right foot, that's for sure. So that could easily turn a lot of people off. It's there's 8 episodes of this.
Well, it's that and the fact that the show Iron Fist sucked. And so, when Daredevil Season 2 came out, or Jessica Jones or Luke Cage, I watched those, day one. I had them finished within, the first day. And Defenders, I didn't even realize it had come out. I was wow. It's out right now?
Yeah, I remember I watched the first 3 episodes of Luke Cage the minute they went up. I was really excited about it. I had to go do something, otherwise I probably would have binged the whole thing. But yeah, it wasn't a smash hit apparently, and I hope that doesn't mean they're gonna maybe cut some funding for some future stuff.
No. I doubt it.
I hope what it means they're just gonna be okay, what went wrong? Can we adjust that? And I think the way you adjust it is to please get rid of Scott Buck.
He's gone. After the Inhumans, there's no way he's coming back.
I'm just surprised they even gave him the Inhumans. I guess that was already in production before the response to Iron Fist was so overwhelmingly negative. But
apparently Inhumans
I sure hope he's not coming back.
Inhumans is they already cut an entire week from the theater run of the Inhumans, because Inhumans, the pilot was going to come out in, IMAX, and apparently they've already shortened that by, a week.
Oh, man.
Because, the pre-sale orders are so bad that the pre-sale tickets are, already so awful that they're no, we can't afford to do this, another week.
I think I wanted to see it until I learned that Scott Buck was doing it, and then I had literally no desire. I don't care to see it at all.
Yeah,
I don't care to see an episode. I like that dog.
Lockjaw? Yeah.
Yeah, I like Lockjaw. He looks good.
I really like the Inhumans, but I think they're better as secondary characters. They're good when they show up in the X-Men, or they show up, randomly throughout the, Marvel comic runs, at least.
And this adaptation doesn't look like it's going to be making a very good case for them to be headliners or anything. I think maybe they made the right decision by making the Inhumans just a show instead of giving them a movie, because they were going to give them a movie for a while.
I think it would have been better to give them a movie, because then Scott Buck wouldn't have been involved.
That's true.
Would have had a much higher budget, would have had better actors. No, I'm not saying the actors in that are bad. The two that I recognize and know are, like, great, but...
Yeah, supposedly, the acting is not the problem.
Yeah. Well, one of them is his brother is Ramsay from Game of Thrones, who's, like, incredibly creepy and, like, just disgusting. And then Anson Mount was in Hell on Wheels.
Yeah,
which I only watched like a season and a half, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, supposedly Hell on Wheels was great.
Yeah.
Like, from the people that liked it, they really liked it. I don't know, it just seems like it's difficult to do Westerns in this era. Like, even though Magnificent Seven was a pretty big hit, apparently it needed to be a lot more for Hollywood to want to start doing more Westerns. Like, everyone was saying, oh, Westerns might be back, because it made a lot of money, but then they actually, like, looked at it, and then the fact that everyone just stopped talking about it 2 weeks later, they were like, maybe not do too many of those.
I think the big thing with that is most Westerns don't get made because most every other movie uses Western plot lines and cliches without actually setting it in the West.
Yeah, that's true. I think...
I mean, most like revenge action movies are just Westerns without cowboys.
Right. There's a lot of them that are just, like, set in some major city. I think, Into the Furnace? Yeah. Into the Furnace was absolutely a Western.
Out of the Furnace.
Out of the Furnace, yeah. Out of the Furnace was absolutely a Western. Like, beat for beat. I loved that movie. I think I like those cliches, but I also really like the setting of a Western. I hope, maybe, if Red Dead Redemption 2 is as good as the first one, which would be really impressive, I hope if that gets, like, a lot of mainstream success, maybe we'll see more Westerns. Because, honestly, I would prefer to just take these kind of cliche Western films that get made every day and just set them in the West. I think I'd enjoy watching that more. The problem is that's more expensive. Like, you're spending more money on locations and costumes and stuff.
Absolutely.
You got to worry about horses.
You should watch Westworld. It combines sci-fi and Westerns all in one. So it's basically...
You mean like my favorite show, Firefly?
Kind of. It's not in space.
It's like my favorite Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine.
It's all about, like, AI. Like, in Westworld, it's written by Michael... how do you say his last name?
I'm going to have to censor that. YouTube, shocking content, can't monetize. You said a swear.
You're probably going to have to censor that, too.
Hey, guys, I got an idea. We're going to make a YouTube-friendly episode. It's going to be 4 seconds. And you're just going to hear this. Beep. And then it's going to end. Boom, monetized.
Michael
Finally, something appropriate. Michael Crichton. He did Jurassic Park.
He wrote Westworld, and it's about a amusement park that is like an immersive Wild West, and like there's a bunch of AIs in it that think that's their actual life, and then you pay like rich guests come, and like all of a sudden the AI start acting weird, and like you need to watch it. It's like really, really good. There's a pretty good twist in like episode 8. I was like, ooh.
Isn't it HBO?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which you now have legally to watch.
Yeah. Well, if you can resend that info to me. For some reason, every time I've gotten your login information, entered it, and like watched an episode of something, I've like switched devices or switched browsers to where now none of it is saved, and I don't remember it. So tough luck. Anyway,
moving on from
Defenders and all that. Oh, did you have something you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, not a big thing. Insidious 4 has an official title.
Oh, what's it called?
Insidious: The Last Key. The film, which is a prequel set years before the events of the first film, also has a synopsis. The film is set years before the events from the previous films and follows Elise Rayner, who's like the old lady psychic.
Okay.
And her youth in New Mexico that begins to be haunted by malevolent and demonic spirits in their own house. If they do like a CGI young her, I think I would really... Actually, the young her that they got for she shows up in something else.
Yeah.
It's like it's the younger version of her. It's in one of those movies that's in that universe. But
see, okay, if I ever got if I was like, you know, a teenager or something, I ever got cast as like the younger version of some big actor, I would never stop chasing that. Like, I'm trying to remember what movie it was. It was that movie where this girl like is immortal, like she doesn't die, but it's like a romantic film. So
Age of Adeline.
Yeah. There's this guy. Ford. Yeah, there's a guy that plays young Harrison Ford, and he did it perfectly. I kind of wished he could have been Han Solo, but it was a very different Harrison Ford character. But he had like the mannerisms and the look perfectly.
Well, he
like,
did.
If I was his agent, I would just be like, "All right, well, anytime you gotta look younger, you know who to call."
He was a
like, I'll be your young stunt double. Like,
he was just a YouTube impersonator.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I think if I'm thinking about the same guy.
Oh, he probably gets other work then.
Yeah.
With other people.
Yeah, hopefully he yeah, I would have much rather had him as Harrison Ford than. Granted, I haven't seen what's his face do it. I can't remember his name.
That's true. And everything we hear about him being the problem, it's all just hearsay. But if that movie comes out and he's garbage, I'm just gonna assume it's all true. I'm not gonna be principled or fair. I'm just gonna be like, it's your fault. You ruined Han Solo.
It's such a like unnecessary movie too, because no one's ever been like, I wonder what Han Solo did before this. Because they're like, nah, he just did some badass stuff. Like, that's all he did.
Yeah, I never once felt like I needed to know. I mean, granted, right now I'm not a kid, so maybe a kid wants to see that. But I don't know.
I don't care what kids
want. I never felt the need.
I'm not a kid.
Kids are dumb.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Dude Wrong Door is against kids, officially. That's our official stance.
It's what?
So that's our official stance.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, we're against kids.
Why does your audio keep cutting out when you try to say that? Are you being censored?
We are against kids?
Against kids, okay. It was like, we are... I was like, what?
YouTube's taking preemptive measures here.
You ain't just gonna not monetize. Well, I mean, they could be censoring it for me, editing the video for me ahead of time.
Hey.
I can't be too mad.
That'd be pretty helpful.
So, Sylvester Stallone was teasing that they're about to start filming Creed 2.
Oh, I saw the picture.
They don't know if Ryan Coogler's going to come back, though. And I think it would be pretty good if Coogler came back. He might. I mean, he's getting that Marvel money right now, though. So.
Oh, the director?
Yeah, he's doing Black Panther right now. Or, well, he I'm pretty sure... Did they finish
the Black Panther's yet? Done, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He's not credited on Creed 2 right now.
Yeah, they need to get him on there. Because that movie's direction is what made it really good, in my opinion. Like, I'm not saying, like, Michael B. Jordan and Stallone didn't do a good job as leads, but...
I'm sure that hopefully they'll get him back.
Yeah. They need to. Oh, and Dolph Lundgren is going to come back as Ivan Drago. Dude...
That'll be weird.
He better be totally, like, chill right now. Like, he better be super, like, laid back and stuff.
It's probably, like, his son that...
Oh, okay.
Creed will have to fight.
Yeah, no, I can see that happening, too. In which case, I don't want him to be chill.
Maybe Dolph Lundgren will come back and be, like, really apologetic.
Yeah, see, that's what I want to happen, because I liked... I like apologetic Dolph Lundgren. He was that Dolph Lundgren in The Expendables. He was like, sorry, I'm just sorry about that.
I don't know. I can't imagine them doing that like again. Surely they can't be like, oh yeah, Ivan Drago had a son and he's gonna fight Apollo Creed's son. And it's just like, you already went with the son angle. Like,
I could see it happening, and it could be worse.
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't totally hate it. Because at least it would give the matchup some stakes. Because last time, it had stakes, but it was like, it's just some random British guy. Like,
yeah. Yeah, the first one, I wasn't too, like... It didn't feel like there was enough of a rivalry there. It kind of
that's such a good ending, though.
Oh, this is the big baddest guy who's, like, also looking for redemption. And he's got to beat him. But, yeah, it didn't feel I don't know if it needs to be personal, but it didn't feel personal at all.
Well, I feel like the first one was like he was more fighting like himself. Like he was fighting to prove that he was he was right. Like,
yeah, it probably could have muddled things.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would like to have a more personal fight though, just because like Rocky 4, and like I think Rocky 4 is my second favorite just because it feels so personal, and it's like he's, I don't know.
Yeah,
I preferred that fight just because it had higher emotional stakes.
I think they'll probably follow the basic like structure that Rocky series had, because like 1 was like him proving himself. It was basically the same plot. No one attacked Creed for doing that, but they all attacked The Force Awakens, for doing New Hope. But so the second one will probably be Clubber Lang type, like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't hate that.
I'm wondering if they're gonna do like Stallone gets sick again. Probably not.
They better not, because they just did it. Like, that would be so annoying. I wouldn't even like be able to make myself care at that point.
Does he get? He's not in remission by the end of it, is he?
By the end of Creed?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he is.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe him and...
I mean, he could easily just get it again and not get over it, because Rocky's supposed to be, like, pretty old.
So. He should be...
Yeah?
He should be, like, in his late 70s.
Yeah. Like, if they ever actually had to, like, write Rocky out of the Creed movies, like, it's believable that he's just old and the cancer came back.
Rocky was in 76, so that was 41 years ago. So
and he was supposed to be how old?
I think he was like in his 20s, like early 20s, like.
Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty young.
How old was Rocky in Rocky 1? He was born in 1951, so he was 24.
There's so much math. Yeah, okay.
So he'd be like almost 70.
I could buy him dying.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't want to see Rocky die.
I want to see him die in the ring with Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies.
The movie turns out it's not about Creed at all. It's about Rocky and Ivan having the rematch where Rocky dies.
Creed just like falls down the stairs in the beginning and is in a coma for the whole thing.
What a dirty bait and switch!
I don't even think I'd
Creed 2.
I'd be pretty mad, but I don't think I'd be like,
oh, the memes would be worth all of it.
I'd just be like,
You want to talk about a movie that would be made to have its plot explained poorly? It's like Rocky tries to fight the Soviets again and dies.
That'd be pretty good. Speaking of sequels, Andy Muschietti, the guy who did Stephen King's It, the new one.
Oh, okay. Which is supposedly incredible.
Yeah, he said he's going to do the sequel to It before he does Robotech.
Oh. There's going to be a sequel to It?
Did you ever see the first one?
The original It?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you know how they're kids and then there's like adults? Like it shows a loser club grown up and then they're like, it's like flat. I think the first one is... Are they
going to do the same thing?
I think the first one is strictly kids and the second one is... He said that he wants it to be like the adults. I always insisted that if there is a second part, there'd be a dialogue between the two timelines, and then it would be approached like the adult life of the losers. There would be flashbacks that sort of illuminate events that are not told in the first one.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
So basically like cool. The original, yeah. So also, there shouldn't be a third one.
That means that it's going to be like... That's going to have to be like bigger scale. Because if... All the people somehow ending up back in the same place together, like... I need to see the first movie.
No, they do that intentionally.
Do what intentionally?
all end up like the loser club, all get back together in the first.
Oh, okay.
Remember in the original movie, it starts out with them like as kids, and then they defeat it, and then they're like, if it ever comes back, we're making a pact now to come back and stop it once and for all.
So he's saying that the second one is gonna be like from the original movies?
No, the second one's gonna be like the second.
You said it was gonna be flashbacks?
No,
I think I missed what you said.
Okay, the original It from the 90s.
Right.
It was a TV special. So the first night,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like the first night. The first part was like the kids and sometimes the adults. It kind of like intermingled, and then the second part was mostly the adults with flashbacks of the kids. And I think that's how they're going to do this one. So they're setting it up as a two-parter, which it kind of has to be because I mean the book itself is like 1,200 pages long.
Oh, okay.
So it flops between like basically at the end of the original, they defeat it when they're kids. Defeat it. And then they're like, if it ever comes back, we have to come back to Derry, and we're going to make a pact now to defeat it once and for all. And then they're all grown up, and they've all moved on, and they're like, it's over, and then all of a sudden it's back, and so they all come back together. Like, that's how they come back together.
Oh, that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. I have the original one on Blu-ray, if you want to borrow it before, which this one comes out.
Yeah, get a refresher.
The first one comes out in 4 days. So I mean, not the first one, the
remake.
The remake comes out in 4 days.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. He's doing Robotech too, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if he's like a horror director or just a good director. I have a feeling he's probably just a good director, given how universally the movie has been liked by like every critic that's seen it. So
it's weird.
I can be confident in that. But Robotech is like super sentimental, like space opera kind of thing.
Well,
like it's not hard sci-fi.
It is pretty sentimental horror. Like it's more about growing up and also dealing with this terrifying creature. Like,
he might nail it then. He might be perfect. I would love a great Robotech movie.
I've never seen actual Robotech, but he seems like he knows what he's doing, and the cinematography and like the general atmosphere of it feels pretty on par with how I would assume it would look. Oh wait, there's some more. Director has not shot any of the flashback scenes, so he's praying that the kids don't grow up. That's a quote. It's also revealed that the sequel might dive into the history of the town of Derry more, specifically the Black Spot, which is a deadly fire that broke out at an African-American barracks in Derry. There's a good chance that the sequel might open with that story.
So there's already like plenty of world building that he can work with.
The actual It story, like he's actually like this, like not immortal, but he's like a eons old, like the like epitome of evil, and like his like nemesis is a giant turtle thing, like a giant god turtle thing. Like it's crazy. Like there's so much lore behind it. It's like insane. And that's never touched on in like the 90s movie. It very well could have been.
I'd imagine it was they were like, we won't bring that up.
What are you talking about? Giant turtle?
That's a bit much to drop on people in this TV special.
I'm definitely gonna look out for the turtle. I'm gonna see if they have like a cameo, like one of them has like a turtle, stuffed turtle, like on his bed or something. Oh, I didn't know Finn Wolfhard, who is from Stranger Things, he's in this movie, which makes sense because
yeah, I mean, well, any kid that was in Stranger Things would be looked
there's a good chance
for, like,
they're in this movie,
a much bigger role.
Oh, that's cool. He plays Richie too, and Richie's like, Richie. That's kind of funny though, because Richie is like the comedian of the group.
Huh.
Well, comedian. He's like a bad comedian.
He's the clown of the group.
That's it. Good night.
Leonardo DiCaprio being looked at for the Joker origin movie.
I'm
probably
kind of excited
because Scorsese is there, so we might as well have DiCaprio there too.
And we'll probably never see him in the makeup in that movie, I assume.
Yeah. Which every like thumbnail for these news articles is always like some crappy Photoshop job of like Leonardo DiCaprio at a premiere, and they just like put some coloring on his face and be like, he's gonna look like this, and it's like, clickbait has gone too far.
Clickbait has gone too far. We must stop it.
But yeah, I mean, he'd probably be great because he was a fantastic like smoldering villain in Django, so probably be perfect if that happened. I don't think it'll happen, always seems like the first person they start talking about in any of these movies, like it never works out that way. But
with Scorsese attached, I'm more likely to be like, yeah, that's probably going to be Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, okay.
Or De Niro, but
De Niro, Joker's origin. He is so old when he started.
He probably could be
suspiciously young.
De Niro or Nicholson probably could be like a mafia, one of the Falcones.
Oh, dude, that would be such a cool cameo to have. Jack Nicholson in there. Oh, I really want that now. I really want him to be in the movie, at least for like maybe one scene. That would be awesome.
Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio is not young.
Yeah, but he can convincingly look young.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And like, just with makeup, like I could probably buy that he was in his 30s or something.
Apparently, Jared Leto. I hadn't heard this. Jared Leto is not happy about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it said Leto is said to have made his displeasure with the notion of multiple Jokers known to his CAA agents and rival agency WME has been using the concern to court him.
Oh, wow.
Leto is set to reprise his role as the Joker in the upcoming Joker and Harley Quinn movie. God. Whatever ends up happening, the studio hopes that they can land DiCaprio or another A-list actor to play the Clown Prince of Crime as a gritty crime boss in a Scorsese-esque Gotham underworld. Dude, who cares, Jared Leto? Stop sending bad stuff to your coworker or your co-cast.
Your cast member, your fellow cast members.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I was Leto, I just quit. Like, I just wouldn't do it.
I would too. Like, he's already said, like...
Yeah. He already said he was super mad about, like, Suicide Squad and what they did to him there. Like, why would you come back? Especially after this. After this comes out, I would just be like, nah.
Yeah, I would absolutely just be like... Yeah, like, if you're not going to make me, like, the... First of all, you've, like, totally ruined... Like, you totally butchered my first, like, role. That you... Like, you misled me. Like, he's come out and said, like, FWB.
Yeah.
Like, he's come out and said those words specifically. It's not even, like...
That'll transfer into the next story, but continue.
Yeah, okay. But, yeah, like, I would be like, nah, alright, like, I'm done. Like, let me out of my contract. Like, I don't care what I have to pay or, like...
Yeah, no. I'd be done with it. I wouldn't go into work after all that happened.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. You know what? I quit this podcast.
This thing's worse than WB. It's not worth it.
WB runs this podcast.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Give us money.
Anyway, talking about, screw WB.
Wait, do we maybe want to jump on the other casting for the DC?
Okay. I mean, if you got something.
Brenton Thwaites will play Dick Grayson.
You just made that name up.
That's what
you just made that up.
I probably mispronounced it, but he'll play Dick Grayson as Robin in the Titans, DC's Titans series.
Okay,
which I
so
believe,
he is Robin.
If I'm not mistaken, is going on their streaming service.
Oh, right.
He was in The Giver and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Yeah. He was non-existent in that movie, only that easily could have been the rest of the movie's fault. That movie was very much garbage, and no one was good in it. So, he might be fine. Who knows? Really cannot know right now.
It doesn't say where they're airing it. Well, see, my big question with this whole, like, DC having their own streaming service, does that mean that they're going to take The Flash and Arrow and DC
off
Legends
of the
tomorrow?
CW?
Because they're producing the Titan series.
The CW is producing the Titan series?
No, Greg Berlanti, who does Arrow, Legends Tomorrow, The Flash, Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
And then Jeff Johns, who does The Flash and Arrow, are producing Titans. So... But it doesn't say anything about CW doing this show.
Who knows? Maybe what they'll do is they'll do that kind of staggered thing where they're gonna release it like on the DC streaming service, and then after it's been out for a while, they'll play reruns on the CW.
Oh,
I could see them doing something like that. Because I mean, Netflix shows, they get DVD releases, And, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if, like, sometime in the future after a license expires, you know, you see something from Netflix being played on ABC Family or something. Oh, wait, ABC Family doesn't exist anymore. It's Freeform now. But yeah, like, I could see that happening. I could see, like, if the Netflix Marvel deal lapsed, I could see Disney just, like, taking episodes of Daredevil and maybe editing them a bit and rerunning them on ABC.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, probably. Yeah, well, you definitely have to re-edit it, but okay, we'll go ahead and finish WB, or get on to WB because we'll do WB and then the other bad thing we're going to talk about, Creation Club, and then.
Yeah. Oh, so we're going to talk about video games now. We're on to video games.
Vits.
Wow.
Actually,
good.
If we're jumping to video games, I got one more thing about a movie.
Okay, go for it.
Guillermo del Toro's latest film, The Shape of Water, is allegedly his best film since Pan's Labyrinth.
Ooh.
Like everyone,
that's pretty hype.
I already kind of know what it's about, but I don't want to ruin it for you because I accidentally watched it.
Okay.
Watched the trailer without knowing it was Guillermo del Toro. I was just like, oh, I wonder what this is, and then I was like, oh, well, darn it.
I'm gonna watch that movie cold.
It's got Michael Shannon in it.
Sweet, I like him.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
So yeah, apparently, like all the critics are saying, it's like phenomenal.
Swoos. I need to see that.
Sweat. Okay.
Good.
Go ahead with
So, everyone knows WB is basically the worst. Like,
yeah, that's pretty.
In everything they do. However, they managed to sink to an entirely new low with a recent Shadow of War development. There's the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, if y'all didn't know.
Yeah, I forgot to watch that. Well, let's talk about some of the bad things they've done first before this new thing.
We'll lead up to the finale. The thing that goes...
The finale as of now.
The thing that goes from kind of scummy, maybe cheating a little bit, trying to get a little bit extra money, goes from that to actually, like, supervillain status.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what this could be.
It's probably not anything that you could expect, but you're still going to be pretty appalled. But basically, Shadow of War started off looking extremely promising. Like, I was really excited for it.
Yeah, the first one's incredible.
Yeah, and it looked like it was what you want from a video game sequel. Everything looked bigger and more involved and, you know, grander, and the scale was, like, significantly larger. Like, you're actually building up an army and stuff instead of just being the one guy kind of in this pseudo Assassin's Creed type of thing. But, like, it was going beyond the Nemesis system, which just made you cool villains to fight. It was now the Nemesis system was going to make you cool allies to have on your side. But anyway, the game looked amazing, and everyone was excited for it, and it was like nothing could bring this game down. It was going to be another The Witcher 3 scenario where it's like, it's all offline. So it's a single-player game. We're not going to have to deal with any of this stupid microtransaction nonsense. And then they put microtransactions in it. And not only did they put microtransactions in it, but they put in randomized, like, RNG loot boxes that contain the one thing you're trying to get in the game, which is soldiers, like people in your army. The way you beat the game is to build up the right army and take over Middle-earth and defeat Sauron and whatever. So in the loot boxes, which you can pay for to get extra for, you could basically start the game, dump a few $100s into that loot box system, and then just go beat Sauron. So the whole,
that's so
like,
dumb.
yeah, the whole, like, the game's actual content you can pay to skip. Which correlates to that the gameplay itself is going to be grindy. Yeah. It's going to force you, like, try to force you into buying loot boxes. Yeah, it's going to try to make you think, oh, well, this will be easier if I could just buy some new soldiers with my real money. Which, yeah, it doesn't mean the game's going to be trying to be as much fun as you could have with it. It's going to try to be holding itself back a little bit so that you try to maybe skip a little bit, get a little bit more. Basically what Forza 5 did, which is why Forza 5 is the worst of all of the Forza games.
Well, that's free on Games with Gold this week, by the way.
It is only worth such. But yeah, on top of that, Shadow of War, you know, did the classic, here's our big epic collector's edition that doesn't include the game, and here's all these pre-order bonuses that have tons and tons of stuff that we're not going to let you have otherwise. You got to pre-order it. Classic, that's the kind of basics of being a scumbag game developer. You do those two things. The whole, like, microtransactions in a single-player offline game, that was when they had set the tone. They had raised the bar. Until they recently announced that they're taking this. One of the developers that had worked at WB, and I'm pretty sure he had worked on Shadow of War for a little bit. He died of cancer at age of 43. It sucked.
Damn. Yeah, that does suck.
He was an executive producer, and, like, everyone, like, apparently he was really cool. Like, people liked working for him. Like, he was a cool boss. Which is kind of magical in the game industry. The more I learn about the game industry, the more I learn how uncommon that is. But basically, they were going to do the thing that a lot of video games do when something like that happens, and put a tribute for him in the game. And what they did is, he had this reputation for being, like, kind of a similar reputation as Satoru Iwata used to have, where he was so good at programming that if something was wrong and people couldn't figure it out, he would come over to the office and just, like, fix it, and then he would leave. So he got that. It was like, oh man, we're stuck, we can't figure this out, like, the game's busted, we're gonna have to backtrack. He would just show up and, like, be able to fix it. Like, that was his claim to fame. So they made him a character in this as this, like, big, like, huge Uruk-hai, and, like,
that's awesome.
There's a chance of when you're, like, in trouble, like you're about to lose, there's a chance in the game that he'll just show up, decapitate the orc, and leave.
That's incredible.
I know. Like, that's such a cool thing. And then
how do you mess this up? I don't.
The video that was talking about this continues on. It says that he's going to be $5 DLC on day one.
That's profiting off of a tribute.
Profiting off of cancer. And then,
oh my god!
In this video, they said that all the proceeds were going to this, like, this charity for cancer research, and they aren't. Like, $3.50 of it goes to the cancer research, and only in the US and only in certain states. There's 8 states where all of it just goes to WB, and they have in tiny little fine print when you're buying it. All of it goes to WB if you're in these states.
There's no way that doesn't backfire, like, horrifically.
Oh, no. They're getting burned at the stake.
That's
right
such
now.
a cool, like, such a cool game mechanic and such a cool tribute.
Yeah, it's an awesome tribute.
And then you're just gonna. That should have been like an Easter egg. Like, it should only happen like maybe once a whole playthrough. But like,
absolutely. And then you're like, whoa, what was that? And then maybe you could look it up, and it's like, oh, that's a cool story.
Well, there was a thing in World of Warcraft like that. Like, one of the developers died when it was being developed, and they put like a tomb, like, on the top of this, like, mountain that you had to, like, basically clip up, and then there was like an angel, like a Valkyrie, like, watching over the tomb, and it said, like, his name and stuff on it, and, like, I was like, that's a cool, like, little hidden, like, like, it's there. God, that's really charging cool. For a tribute. If all of the money went either towards his family or towards the cancer research, absolutely no problems.
Yeah.
Like, fine, but...
No, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but it isn't all doing that. And in Europe and, like, in Japan, like, it's not. It's just, he's just a DLC character that you have to buy. Which is just, dude, like...
if I was his family, man. I would, like...
Oh, dude, I'd be upset.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I'd burn down WB, which I'm already planning on doing anyway.
I'm outside their window right now. I have a box of Molotov cocktails. Thought that was that's the way you do it, right? When you're gonna burn a place down, use some Molotov cocktails.
That's
make
how
a real
I do
statement. That's my calling card. Every time it happens, you know it's me. This is a
I'm
confession.
Molotov cocktail man.
They call me Molotov man.
I didn't have a lot of time to think that out. Here you go.
I think there was. I'm pretty sure there was one more thing to this. Oh yeah, you can pre-order it right now. Like you can pre-purchase it.
Dude, I would. God.
It's just,
WB also screwed up Injustice, by the way. Just in case you don't know a lot of what WB when we said that they're like infamous for. They're like, I mean, they're like the Randy Pitchford of companies. Randy Pitchford's like the Randy Pitchford of people, but like everyone that is an executive producer at WB is Randy Pitchford.
Right. They're an entire board of Pitchfords.
Oh God.
They're the Randy Pitchboard.
Oh my God, Willa, stop. You always do this.
Yo, I just realized I'm reading this article on IGN India. Because probably American IGN was not gonna have a story like this.
That figures.
But yeah, that was just WB's grand slam.
I just can't imagine I can't imagine how that ever got approved.
I can't either.
Like
Especially
how?
Since they already knew they were on thin ice with people. Like, it had already lost so much support from like the at least from the vocal presence online. They had already lost so much support.
Oh, I wasn't gonna buy it, and I love the first one. Like,
yeah, the first one's really good.
Like I wasn't.
And this one looked amazing, but nah.
No, and
you know it's already got a season pass. I forgot to mention that on the earlier things. Of course.
Does he come with a season pass?
They're gonna have the season pass for tributes to people who died. There are like 3 more characters to be revealed soon. Everyone in the office just starts like looking around like, wait,
what?
Wait, any of y'all sick? Wait, is this 3 people who already died? No one answers their questions.
The doors just lock. They just lock. You just hear the click of the door. Oh God.
Oh man. This is not going to be shocking content. I'm not going to be monetized. It sucks.
That shouldn't be that shocking.
That this is happening. No, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to make fun of this or this guy. I'm really just trying to make fun of WB because they deserve to be made fun of.
That's like if he was that good of a guy and like had that cool of a reputation, like and then
he had
just
a legend.
Put money on him.
That's gosh. Okay. Oh, we can move on though. I'm getting my way, and I rarely get my way. I'm really happy that this is happening, and it feels good because it is such a controversial thing that I know I've been right in the whole time.
Oh, what we're talking about?
Xbox One is getting keyboard and mouse, and they have confirmed that it's happening.
Oh, I thought we were going to do Creation Club. We'll do that next.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's pretty cool, though. Yeah,
I was saying I'm happy
that
I'm getting my way for once on something that is controversial, something that people are like, it's going to be unbalanced, and all these things that don't hold water when you say a PC has gamepad, mouse, keyboard. What's the problem? I'm just glad that I'm getting my way. I'm going to relish it.
No, yeah, I think it should have keyboard and mouse support, but anyone who uses a keyboard and mouse will automatically have some sort of advantage. But
in some games,
I can't think of
but in
the chances of you. I think that the people that are going to use a keyboard and mouse on an Xbox One are such a small margin of the people that own Xbox Ones that the chances of you getting into a game with them, a competitive game, consistently is like no.
Also think about the fact that people have modded controllers. People got Elite controllers. They got stuff from Scuff. They make stuff that is objectively better than the basic gamepad. So, you can't police that, so why not just embrace it and have the skill ceiling rise on every game? Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I actually didn't hear about that. So.
Also, I don't even have to care that I could be wrong now because I'm getting my way. I'm happy.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about Creation Club,
yeet,
you can go at it.
Okay, so Bethesda, what was it, like 6 months ago that they tried to make...
I think was it at E3?
No. They tried to, before that. They tried to do
that
paid
was a
mods.
while ago.
Yeah, they tried to do
like 2016, 2015 maybe.
So some people still insist on playing Skyrim and Fallout 4 for some reason, and so like Bethesda
Shocking
tried to
content unmonetized.
Bethesda tried to make like mods have always been a huge part of like any like big gaming community, like PC. Yeah, absolutely. Like they've always been like free and they're fun and like they are kind of sometimes used to be like dangerous to put on your computer because they could like corrupt your game files and stuff.
Yeah, that's long gone. Not the case now. Like that's like maybe 8 years ago.
A long time ago, Bethesda, or like several months ago, Bethesda tried to go for paid mods, and everyone rightfully freaked out about it. And so Bethesda was like, "Oh, it's psych." And like, just like, no, we didn't mean that, and so they just like backed off of it.
Like, and then we just didn't think that one through.
Yeah, and then at E3 they announced Creation Club, which was supposed to let modders work with Bethesda as actual like game developers, and then you could use credits, obviously that real money. They were advertising it as mini DLC. They still don't call them mods. They call them mini DLC.
Which is another way of saying microtransactions. So dude, you're going between paid mods or microtransactions. Pick your poison. Neither of these look good.
Their big thing was they don't care that it's microtransactions. They want you to be sure that this isn't a paid mod. So when they were advertising it,
Todd Howard made a statement saying Fallout 4 will never have microtransactions. So if they are saying it's microtransactions, I mean, he's still a liar.
It just
like,
works.
Regardless.
But no. So the way Creation Club was supposed to work, it was supposed to let modders work with Bethesda like as actual developers and get paid for their mods, which they're not. Remember, Bethesda never said mods. So they can get paid, and then like people can pay for their mods because it's a safer, easier way to do it. Which at first I was like, that's just paid mods, but I was like, as long as the modders are seeing some sort of financial like reimbursement for it, because you can still always go get free mods, but if you wanted to support that modder other than like Patreon, I was like, that's cool. But apparently Creation Club not only is built into your game, so if you have Fallout 4, even if you're like, I'll just never use Creation Club, it's built into the game, so it automatically downloads every asset on the Creation Club. Is downloaded.
What?
Every
I
asset.
didn't know about this.
Yeah, every asset that's on the Creation Club is downloaded on your hard drive, takes up space, and you can't access it without like the proper plugins, which you obviously have to pay for. So like,
my god.
So, and that will constantly keep going up. So the more stuff they add on Creation Club, it just bites away at your hard drive. And that's if you just want to play the game, like
like with no mods.
Yeah, even with like free mods. And so that's really crappy. And then also they promised that everything on the Creation Club would not be a pre-existing mod. You couldn't use pre-existing mods. They told the modders that. They're like,
isn't that all that's there right now?
Yeah, they were like, no submitting pre-existing mods. Everything on the store is a pre-existing mod.
Yeah, like someone already made it for free. Also, and I don't know, I only saw 2 examples of this, but the 2 examples that I saw, the paid versions were significantly inferior to the free ones.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The Chinese armor, stealth armor looks worse, and the one's like black armor, and it just barely makes your armor darker. And it's like $2.50, $3.50.
Oh my gosh.
But the modders themselves are, this is a rumor, but the modders themselves are only getting paid from between $200 and $1,000 for their mod, and only one time. As soon as they sell that mod, Bethesda gets the rights and any royalties off of it. So they never see any royalties.
That is not a philanthropic approach that you're taking, Bethesda. That is not you saying, we're looking for a way that mods can make money from making...
That means that they can like absolutely use them in other games though. So like if Fallout 5 comes out and they're like, oh, this armor was really popular, we'll just take it. The person that created that
they don't
sees
get any
no
royalties.
more money. Yeah, like nothing at all. I was like, dude, how like
this
WB tops. We should have started with this and then gone to WB because profiting off cancer is a lot worse than profiting off modders.
Here's the thing. I think WB is actually just a venomous snake, like true actually like personified evil incarnate. I think Bethesda is just a meme.
Yeah, they just don't know. They're just like,
I think they're just a disabled bull. Like, it's got a limp, and it's just running through a grocery store, trying to like, trying to make a case for veganism. Like running people over because it can't keep its balance.
Someone put it down or make Elder Scrolls 6.
Those are our two options.
Yeah,
he's trying to tell me it's for the greater good, but he just impaled my friend in his horn. He's saying, I didn't know what I was doing. That was an accident. But then he pulled it out and immediately thrust it back in. There's now 2 different holes. One is bleeding out.
Shocking content.
Right.
Unmonetized. No, but that's insane that both companies have screwed up so badly this close together. I think they're just competing.
One of them is depressing. The other is actually just kind of hilarious.
Yeah, like one is just like, oh, okay. Like it kills me that they like will not admit that they're paid mods. Like
I know.
It would be so much better if they're just like, yeah, they're paid mods. Like
they haven't even reached a new low, and like we can't even be surprised. It's just like Bethesda. You're telling the same jokes now, but I think that's part of why it's funny.
You made Doom. How did you do this?
Accidentally happen. How did you make Doom and then continue being Bethesda after that experience? That's like going on some kind of life-changing vision quest, or like going and becoming a monk for a few years, and then you get home and you just go back to doing the same stuff you were doing before, like nothing changed.
Just can't even.
Anyway.
I don't even know.
I don't know that's you were saying you wish we would have done this before doing Shadow of War, but I think those are the 2 top stories, and I think everything after that is just going to be bringing it down. I mean, it sucks that Lawbreakers is basically dead on PC.
Yeah. Lawbreakers, they made a lot of bad decisions that it was their own fault that it failed.
Yeah, and they were honest mistakes.
Yeah, and I think it was Cliffy B thinking his name holds a lot more glory than it still does.
Yeah,
because he wasn't involved with Gears 4, was he?
No, he doesn't have the same name recognition, and yeah, since Gears 4 was pretty universally liked by critics, at least, I think maybe people kind of realized don't really need Cliffy B, I guess.
Yeah, I've talked about Cliffy B, and like hardly anyone will know who I'm talking about. Like I have to be like he's the guy that did Gears of War, and they're like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I think maybe a year before Gears 3 came out, or like the time leading up to Gears 3's release, that was when everyone knew who Cliffy B was.
Yeah,
like that was when he was kind of the trending game industry rock star at the time, and he's so not that anymore.
Which is,
he retired for such a long time, and then he came back with an independent studio instead of. You know what? I think it probably would have been better if he had done it as a Kickstarter.
He came back way too arrogant too. Like he was like, he's like, this is a $1 billion IP, and it's like, dude, like there's like 700 people playing your game at like peak hours in the first like week that it released. Like
yeah, I think. But see,
like he was quoted as saying like, I want to make another $1 billion IP. Like that's the pitch he gave different companies, like publishers.
Yeah,
and
no one picked it up. It was Nexon that picked it up, and Nexon's not small. Like Nexon's probably one of the biggest South Korean publishers, but they mainly do like free to play stuff, and maybe this wasn't the right business model, and they didn't really know how to market it because it isn't free to play. So maybe they didn't have the know-how to kind of back the marketing you need for a retail release.
Yeah, they absolutely didn't know how to market it, because they should have stressed that it's not Overwatch, because I've seen like a ton of like first impression videos, and they're like, oh, so it's kind of like Overwatch, and I'm like,
yeah, and it's not.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't. On the surface, yes, I can see why you would, but that's the same as saying like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
are the same game on the surface. Yeah, I mean, you basically. Yeah,
there are 2 guys who fight. There are people in a room who shoot.
Yeah, like, and there's a crazy cast of characters, and like, so I can kind of see where you're like, yeah, those are kind of the same, but that's just genre. Like, you're just pointing out genre at that point,
right?
Like, it's Lawbreakers plays really fun. I think Lawbreakers is lacking, and it's weird to say this, but I think it's lacking a lot of attitude also. So when I played it, none of the characters are familiar, or like I didn't remember them. Like I can't think of what a single one of them was called.
I can't remember any of their names. I can remember that the Breakers side gunslinger, I really like his design. He's got like that cool like
horn
big
thing,
visor thing.
Yeah,
like that's on his eyes. And I remember I can't remember if it was the Law or the Breakers side of one of the Titans was really cool. As far as like character design, but I don't remember them as characters. I just remember them as kind of what they look like.
I don't remember them saying much. I don't remember them like interacting.
Yeah. There's no interactions that are really like of note, which is, I mean, that's something even Black Ops 3 had, like in spades. Like they had interactions.
That was so good. Yeah. What did they do to you?
Which think about a Call of Duty game having better character interactions than a hero shooter. That's saying something.
Yeah. I guess now that I made myself sad about Lawbreakers, I guess we can jump on to...
well, here's what actually made me want to talk about it. They said that they're not slowing down the production of the new content at all. Like they said, people who bought it and people who are playing it, don't worry, we've still got the same maps and features, and the new character class is still coming out, and it's all going to be on schedule. So they're saying, yeah, we know it didn't do too great, but we're not going to throw you guys under the bus because you did buy it knowing this was coming. So,
well, that's respectable.
That's good for those people, at least. That's not a WB move or an EA move where they canceled all of the future expansions for Mass Effect Andromeda because it didn't do as well as they wanted it to.
Dude, I couldn't believe that. Like when they said that, I laughed about it, but I was like, if I had bought that game, I would demand a refund. Like
that was like that only rewarded the people that didn't buy the game because they were skeptical. Which, hey, good thing the skeptics got rewarded for once, but it sucks that the people that were like, I'm gonna give it a try, I like Mass Effect, just kind of got stepped on.
God, it's so ugly. I watched Crowcat, whatever his name is.
Crowcat, something like that, yeah.
I watched his video on it again today. I was like, how in the world? Like, why? 5 years? Well, I thought about ripping my headphones out. I guess we could jump on to the World War II beta.
Yeah.
Which we have two differing. I think our base opinion.
I think it just comes
is the
down.
Same.
I think a lot of the stuff we disagree on comes down to the kinds of things we like in games, and the kinds of things specifically I dislike in games. But I think what I can say that's good about it are things that are really good to have this early. Like, okay, well, yeah, I love the game's sound design. The sound design is incredible.
Like the campaign is going to be incredible, and the zombies will probably be crazy scary just because of the like. I can't imagine how it's going to sound.
Yeah, it's not just it's not the way Call of Duty has always sounded, which has always been good enough and always really good for competitive play. Where if you want to hear these. If you want to hear footsteps, if you want to hear gunshots, you can find them, but it was everything. It was like, if there was a fire that you walk by, even if it's just a little fire, you can hear it, and like, the surround was great in headphones, and...
Yeah, the immersion in that is like, when they were like, bomber coming in, or like, fighter pilot coming in, I was like, run!
Yeah,
like, I couldn't tell if I was even close to being hit, but I could just like coming down over me.
You could hear them coming, and there was one time where they were like, glide bomb incoming, and I could hear like the scream of the missile coming after me. I could hear it getting closer, and I like dove into shelter, and it just blew up right behind me, and like had that kind of that crack sound that you're supposed to have when an explosion is close. Like when it's far away, it's a boom, but when it's close, it was a crack, and I was like, that was good. Like that was one of the moments in the game where I was like, This is what they're going after. Like at every turn, they're going after those moments. Like even in this is an approach that I haven't seen another Call of Duty try to do. They're going for moments rather than like trying to make everything kind of solid, like a good baseline, which is part of my criticisms. But when when there are really good moments that like they're gonna stick in your head, where it's like, oh dude, remember when this happened? They're nailing that. And instead of having a final kill cam, they're using the Overwatch kind of thing, where it was like, here was the play of the game.
And I should have gotten that like 3 times, and I haven't gotten it once. I was pretty angry.
I got it 3 times, and it was when I was using the SMGs, because the SMGs are really overpowered. But it was cool to see it happen, where it's like, I'm used to seeing that in Overwatch, and Overwatch is more of a class-based thing. And every time there's a play of the game, it's like, oh, someone ulted.
Yeah, someone ulted really well.
Someone got in the perfect situation to ult at the perfect time, and that's what it's going to be every time. Or Bastion sat in a corner. With this, it was like, I was actually excited to see it, because sometimes it was like, sometimes it was like someone coming up behind a bunch of guys. Sometimes it was like someone standing their ground and just taking out like everyone that came at them. And then one time it was a guy that got like 3 perfect quick scopes in a row, and I was like, I'm getting to see YouTube 2008 every time a game finishes. Like, this is awesome. So that's really good. And the best thing I can say about the game, which is a really good thing to say about any online game, is I never had a single problem with any lag or connection, or like, it never kicked me out of the game. I never had a drop connection. Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't have a drop connection, but I had like random lag spikes, and I was like, why?
That's frustrating.
What does this happen? But it was towards the end, so maybe that was when most of the players were on. I don't know.
That could have been it. With a lot of Call of Duty games, and I think it's because Call of Duty is still running on older technology, or it's running on like older architecture, as much as they keep updating it. I think, like, Black Ops 3, it really showed that they were using old tech. Because when that game would get hit with lag, it was like devastating. Like, you'd be like getting rubber banded all over the place, and I was like, other games I haven't had to deal with rubber banding since like Gears of War 2, but it happened a lot, and when it would happen, it was bad in Black Ops 3. I didn't encounter any at all in World War 2, and I played it for probably a total of 24 hours, and I never felt like I got cheated out of something that I was like, I would have earned that had I not been screwed up by lag. Like, I never felt that, and that is magical for an online game. Like, that's the special sauce that you gotta have. Like, that'll make sure that no matter how mechanically frustrating I find your game, it's probably at least gonna be a solid 8. Yeah. Just because, I mean, nothing's going wrong. It's all going by design.
See, I think that's what I liked, because, well, that was one of the things we talked about, it was like a more slowed down. But I kind of enjoyed that, because I felt like it made the intense moments more intense. Because I feel like in Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare, I never had intense moments, because if I started getting shot at, I was like 100 yards away, like, immediately. Because I would just like boost and sprint and slide, and I was like, I'm out of it. Like, but like in World War II, when someone would like be like firing down on me, or like and a grenade would be near me, I'd be like, I can't run. Like, I'm like here. Like, I'm gonna see this one out. Like.
Oh, like you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, and I kept getting killed from behind at first, because my first reaction was to turn and just abandon the fight and, like, you know, try to set up a different, either a flank or, like, let them come to me. But, like, this, I was just like, I'm too slow to turn, so I need to throw a grenade and come out fighting, or, like, just strafe across shooting, like, you know, have some sort of movement going.
You value tension more. I value...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I value options more. That's where that's where almost all of my design criticisms come from, is there's not enough options for me when I'm playing. And it sucks, because, I mean, what I've been playing for the past 3 years has conditioned me to assume I have options. You know, outside of Call of Duty, I've been playing Titanfall and Doom and...
Doom.
I mean...
And Doom and Titanfall and...
No, hang on.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Well, and just like... I mean, even like Gears 4 was like sped up from the previous games. Like I got accustomed to things getting faster and faster, and then World War II slows everything down significantly, not just from its predecessors, from like most of what I had been playing. So,
see, I kind of like that though. I like that step back and like the immersion. I do wish that the creative class was still there, because you can put whatever gun you want on whatever like division you're in, which is why I don't understand why we have divisions.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
it's just perk. All you're doing is regulating perks at this point. You're just constricting perks. You're not constricting guns. I can still put whatever I want on guns, other than like suppressors. Suppressors only SMGs. Also, I disagree about SMGs being overpowered. The grease gun and the top 100 were awful. But
they were garbage. But the PPSH and the Thompson dominate the entire game.
I never got to the Thompson, but
the PPSH is just a win button. Like the PPSH, basically you've won every single engagement in all ranges. Like the PPSH is like a 5-shot kill across the map, and it fires extremely fast with really it still has high recoil, but it's consistent. You always know which direction it's going. It's basically the FAMAS from Black Ops 1.
That's what I was telling Alexa was here when I was playing it, and of course she didn't understand it, but I was sitting there like, I was like, man, I shouldn't be able to hit this dude from like 100 yards away and it do the same amount of damage it does like right in front of him. Because sometimes the gun balance was definitely like, I was having flashbacks to Advanced Warfare.
But that can be fixed. The problem is it's Sledgehammer, and they tend to not fix things until it's 2 years after the game came out.
Yeah, until it's like way. But
actually, 2 years later, Advanced Warfare's big weapon balance patch came out and finally took the 2 viable guns, like, took them down a couple tiers. 2 years! 2 other Call of Duty games were already out.
Maybe they've learned.
Man, I hope so.
Maybe.
I like the game, but the beta didn't leave a very good impression, and it's the gun balance that can be fixed. Like connection speed, even if that was a problem, like that can be fixed. I think it's actual design choices that I disagree with that make me feel like I just don't want to get it, because it's like, these aren't the things they're going to fix. These are things that are here on purpose, and it's because of a difference in opinion that they're in here, not because I'm objectively right in all cases.
Yeah. See, in my opinion, the $60 is worth it because, well, for one, the more I played, like when I first started playing it, I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, and I was telling Alexa that, and then like I played it the second day, and I was actually like having a lot of fun and having like really intense moments, and I was like, no, I was like, this is fun. Like I was using the machine gun, and I was actually like mounting it on windows and like mounting it and like holding my ground, and then using the sniping is finally like how I always remember it being, except for the quick scoping. Like trying to use snipers in the new ones is so hard because everyone's like pop, like all over the place.
Yeah, everyone's so mobile.
Yeah, and so I was like, finally, like I can sit here and snipe. Like sniping is a realistic option for me, and so I was like, no, I actually like this. So the $60 is worth it for me. But I'm thinking, even if the multiplayer wasn't like what I wanted, like specifically, like kind of how you're saying, the campaign and the zombies will probably justify it.
Yeah, Advanced Warfare had a good campaign, so I can trust Sledgehammer with that, and the trailers for the campaign have all looked just like stellar, and it's like, oh man, I didn't even know that I had missed World War II this much. Like seeing it with new technology, like I didn't really pay attention to any I didn't look at anything like Red Orchestra 2. Like I'm talking about recent World War II games. I haven't paid any attention to them because I didn't think I wanted to go back to it. I thought I was still tired of it, but nah, the trailers for the campaign look fantastic.
Yeah, they do. And Advanced Warfare had pretty good zombies towards the end, didn't it?
Yeah, it had good zombies, but it only had 4 maps, and it started with DLC. Like there was no zombies in the game originally, so you got like four kind of basic maps that they didn't really experiment much with. But they're saying that they're making this zombies their own and like gonna do things differently, and they're focusing on making it scary and like
that's enough for me.
A focus on like actually like they're saying they want you to want to play co-op, because as it stands, unless you know the person and you're hanging out with them, Call of Duty Zombies co-op is a nightmare because it's so easy and so common for your teammates to just completely screw you over.
Yeah.
And like,
or you could just play with Jan and he'll also screw you over.
Just out of sheer incompetence. But yeah, that's another real problem.
We definitely need to do like a let's play of playing with Jan, because like we'll literally like we played Black Ops 3 was the first one I ever played with Jan, like the zombie mode.
Yeah,
and like
me too.
I would like pick him up and then run like 15 feet, and Jan would be like, "Oh damn it, I'm down again." And I'm like, "Run, move! What are you doing?"
I actually witnessed. I brought him. I revived him, and I was like, "You know where to go to get quicker or to get Juggernaut, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I know." I was like, "Cool." I revive him, and he sprinted up to like up some narrow stairs into like 4 zombies that were coming down the stairs, and it's like, yes, Jan, that's the right direction to get to the Juggernaut. But you ran right into the zombies, and they just knocked him down. And I was like, I'm not getting you back up, and I left. Like, I gotta go.
Poor Jan.
But yeah, anyway, they're saying they want to make it to where teamwork is rewarding and where you'll want to play with teams. But they also said, we're not gonna make it to where you can't play solo.
They should also see, in my opinion, if the campaign's good enough, the zombies are good enough. If Jan and I get it, I always have, even with bad games, I always have fun.
Yeah.
Playing with friends, like, which I don't think it's bad. I had plenty of fun playing it. Like,
I'm saying, I'll finish the campaign, maybe play it once more if I really like it. The zombies I could actually probably get a lot of mileage out of, but I'm just gonna feel like I paid $60 for a game that I right now don't really enjoy the multiplayer for. So, I can't really justify it to myself right now.
Yeah.
If they made some adjustments, or even just like like Infinite Warfare did a good thing where every week they have some unique mode that like throws one rule of the game out the window. Like Hyper Team Deathmatch has like accelerated payloads, like the ults that you would get. So you just like, you have one like every couple spawns. So it's like a game full of power weapons. They also had sometimes they would do crap, I can't remember the name of it. It was another mode where it was like your score streaks would never reset. So everyone would equip the 3 most expensive score streaks, and it was just like a mech battle the entire game. I hope that World War II does stuff like that, and maybe like has a mode where it's like you can equip like three extra perks, or like every time you get a kill, you get a random perk added to your character, so you don't feel like you're just stuck into. Okay. I was gonna say stuck into a role, but the problem with the game as it is right now, there are no roles. Like, you have, their goal was to make things more specialized, but they removed a bunch of options for specialization. Like, you can't make a full stealth class. To make a full stealth class, you would need aspects from 2 different divisions to combine. Like, if you are the mountain division, which is the snipers, you can get the stuff where it's like you don't appear on the radar, your footsteps are quieter, and stuff like that, but you can't use a silencer, so every time you fire your gun, you're on the map, everyone knows where you are. In like at least the past like 5 or 6 Call of Duties, you could actually build a stealth class. But when you built the stealth class, it was always at the cost of other things that you're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna really specialize into this one area, and I'm just gonna stay off the map, and I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna be conservative because I'm sacrificing gun speed, I'm sacrificing mobility. So you actually could specialize, or you could just not specialize. You could make a mess, and that was up to you. Same thing with like resistance, like equipping all of the resistance perks and like making yourself as much of a tank as you could be in a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have those same options, and some of the things that are unique to a couple of the classes make no sense with their role. Like the medium range, which is the infantry, they're like the assault rifle guys. They're supposed to be encouraged to use the assault rifles. They have like, one of their unique perks is to move faster while aiming down sights. And I'm like, that sounds like an SMG or like a fast character perk, and their unique ability is the bayonet charge, which gives you like basically a knife lunge. And I'm like, why is the medium range class being given the knife lunge?
Yeah, that doesn't make.
And then the shotgun class is basically just an excuse for Call of Duty to make terrible shotguns again, because it's like the Expedition division. They're like based around equipment and like grenades and tacticals and stuff like that. Stuff that really isn't very valuable in most Call of Duty gameplay. Like, Call of Duty gameplay 90% of the time comes down to gun skill versus gun skill, and none of the perks for the Expedition class help that. And shotguns, every time you're using shotguns in a Call of Duty game, you're stacking it with a bunch of perks that make you faster or quieter so you can actually get close to someone to get a kill.
Yeah.
Or you're like loading it with perks to fix its range and its firing speed and its spread, because shotguns are just made to be awful in every Call of Duty game, and you have to like compensate with them somehow. And the way that you should be able to compensate by choosing the Expedition division and using the shotgun, their unique ability is to load incendiary shells into the shotguns, and they suck where they are right now.
Okay, so wait, what do the incendiary shells do? Because I was wondering, I was like, why would I load and unload these? Like,
well, at the beginning of your spawn, you have 4 incendiary shells.
Yeah.
Whether it's the pump action, the semi-auto, or the double barrel, you'll have 4. And they fire in a really wide spread. They don't do hardly any damage on contact. And basically all they do is help you have a higher chance of getting an assist after they've already killed you, because the shotguns don't kill anyone. They set the person on fire, but even if you set them on fire, it's not a guaranteed kill. Like, the fire will just dissipate. It feels like a mix of Marked Target from Infinite Warfare, which made it to where it would delay their health regen, and that was a phantom. That was like a sniper perk, which is like, yeah, if you get a hit marker, you don't want the guy to heal before you can hit him again. But with the shotguns, you're so close that if you lose the gunfight, like if he doesn't die immediately, you're gonna die. So his slowed down health regen is meaningless to you in the long run. So you're primarily put into a support role, and they haven't changed the game to be totally class and like specialist based, to be like, okay, here we need a support character. It just makes it to where the support character is useless. So the way to make shotguns viable is to go into the airborne division with all of the speed perks equipped, equip the perk that lets you fire while sprinting, while having the faster and longer sprint, and sacrifice the useless incendiary shells, because they are useless, and sacrifice the ability to have a sniper, or to have a silencer on your SMG, because only SMGs have silencers. To be fair, shotgun silencers, or shotgun suppressors, barely exist right now, and definitely didn't exist in World War II. However, I don't think I should have to care, because you can be a female black Nazi. So, I don't think worrying about realism was the biggest priority. So, I can't give them that excuse.
When people were like complimenting like the realist,
the authenticity,
of like the guns, I was like, okay, but also there's some stuff that is not like, either go for it or don't go for it. Yeah. Like, I mean, you could keep it grounded and still have like kind of crazy attachments to your guns. Like,
yeah, I think I should be able to dual wield Walther P08s if I can be a black woman in the Nazi infantry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that is asking too much at all to have dual wielding weapons, or to be able to reload while sprinting, which is another thing that I didn't want Call of Duty to go back to, having to stop to reload, because no other game does that. Like, actually Battlefield might do it. I guess that's
I'm not sure.
That's the only one comparable to it, but basically every other game will let me reload while sprinting. Gears lets me reload while sprinting. Doom is basically a 100% sprint the entire time.
You don't even reload in Doom.
Oh, that's true. You reload the double barrel and that's it.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. But overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I had fun, I also enjoy. One of my favorite shooters is Siege, which you probably would have no fun with because you don't. There's like no customization.
Yeah, but at least with Siege, they totally commit to the class and like character shooter.
Yeah, each
system,
class
like,
has a.
Yeah, you have a role and you're very specialized. So,
I'll probably get World War II on launch day, but I would much prefer it if they eventually scrap the division system in an update, and they're just like, or even keep the divisions, but just be like, choose your perks. Like, I mean, this
just
was a dumb
open
idea.
it up. Or at least, I mean, never say never, of course, because like Titanfall 2 fixed a lot of their stupid decisions they made with that this year. They finally actually made it feel like a sequel to the original. So, who knows? Maybe they'll give us 3 basic training perks to pick, so we can actually have the perk system back. Let us have more than just 2 attachments on a gun.
Yeah. Well, my
add
thing
silencers to everything. At least add silencers to like the assault rifles. But add silencers to the stuff that had silencers in World at War. Like we know they existed. At least flash hiders, maybe.
Yeah. My thinking is that Sledgehammer's going to do their World War II games. Black Ops is going to do their trippy psycho sci-fi things. But I'm hoping each multiplayer changes. Even if Sledgehammer's next game has divisions in it, I hope Treyarch's doesn't. I hope it goes back to their creative class because they're creative with their weapons attachments. Even if it's like a historical shooter, again, like
I'm 100% for the 3 different companies' Call of Duties becoming less and less like each other as time goes on.
Absolutely.
And I like. I think Treyarch has been doing this the whole time. They've just been like, we're really trying to just make this our own thing, because like Black Ops 2 feels like a direct sequel to Black Ops 1. Black Ops 3 feels like a direct sequel to Black Ops 2. Like in the perks and the weapons they had and the tone, like all of it felt like Black Ops. While Ghosts had very little in common with Black Ops 2, which is probably why people didn't like it actually. But I
haven't heard anyone praise the division system yet. So
yeah, me neither. It almost feels like a pill we have to swallow, which is not. That should not be how people feel about your class system, because like Call of Duty 4 made its name by having the leveling up system, the unlock system, and having create a class. Like that was why Modern Warfare 1 was a big like revolutionary smash hit that changed first person shooters forever. Was they had that kind of RPG element of making your own character and specializing them in the ways that you wanted, even if they were not super like over the top at the time. Like,
yeah, here's the you know what my big complaint about the beta was the UI is
it's bad.
It's awful. Not the UI in game. The UI, the menus are like choosing
the menus.
Like I was like, where is everything? Like I thought it was like broken because I was like sitting and looking at it and I was like, it must still be loading. And then I was like, oh no, wait, I just hit RB. Never mind.
And okay, here's a big thing. See, okay, people can say what they want about what they dislike about Infinite Warfare, be it the setting or game design choices, or just not enjoying it. The fact is, objectively, Infinite Warfare's menus and loading were all better than any Call of Duty up to this point. Like, the menus are clean and slick and direct, and you can find things easily. And every time a map gets chosen, when you're in the lobby, it starts loading it while you're still there, being able to changing your, modify your classes or even leave the game. The map is being loaded. And then when it actually says, all right, match starting, you're waiting not even 5 seconds before the game has already started. There's no card showing you, this this action shot from the map and saying, here's the title, and a little loading thing going by. Like, that was the past. Like, we were done with that now. After Infinite Warfare, like, it was like, everything is slick, the menus don't have lag. I don't know if you remember, but Advanced Warfare's menus were extremely laggy. And coming back from each game, there was that pausing moment where nothing would work, and you just had to wait. Like, that was gone. Black Ops 3 didn't have that too bad, but Black Ops 3 took a really long time to load maps. And starting the game took forever. Infinite Warfare, you hit start game. The first company logo shows up. You just hit start, skip it, and now you're in the multiplayer menu. Like, everything was minimalist and fast and just worked. And that is not there on World War II. World War II has a very clunky menus, very long load times, and it's like, you guys should learn some things from each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, God, the menus were so bad. Like, I was like, what am I, like, I was actually confused. I was like, I look like I've never played a video game before trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be going.
Yeah, there were some times where I thought I had left the lobby, and I hadn't. I had just tabbed over.
Yeah.
Like, even when you're in the lobby, they put everything in tabs, whereas, like, that's asking so much more of someone than just putting it in a simple, like, lined up drop-down menu.
Okay, here's Reddit. Apparently this is someone gathered, like, all the complaints that everyone had that they want to change from the beta.
Okay.
We'll
read that off as the last thing for this episode.
Yeah. One is muzzle flash reduction so you can see while you shoot.
Oh, yeah. Also, the muzzle flashes look crappy.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with this one. Battle chatter. Enemy team callout should be muted or much quieter. As of now, battle chatter gives out our location much too often rather than help teammates.
Yeah.
I agree. And also, when I was playing the war mode, like when they're building the bridge, every time they would start building it, it'd be like, they're building the bridge! And if they stopped and started like a second later, he would just say that same line. And I was just like...
It was very annoying.
Yeah. Dude, I was just like... It was kind of driving me to do better because I was just like popping them every time they started. Like, I was just like, stop building the bridge.
Stop playing one of those same 4 sound bites.
Enemy names. Shouldn't be able to see the name tags of enemies you can't visually see. I didn't have a problem with that.
I don't think I noticed that, but...
reload sounds. Oh, no, this is wrong. Reload sounds. Some guns reload very loudly. The M1 Garand... Yeah.
Oh, that's the point. No, the Garand was known for that.
Yeah, it's the sexiest reload sound of all time.
It's also kind of, the risk you take with the Garand is that you can't stay hidden. Just like you couldn't stay hidden with a Garand in World War II. It was so loud.
Bing! Spawning. I didn't have a problem with the spawns.
I had a lot of problems with spawns, but
I didn't like hardly at all. I had problems forcing spawn changes. Because, like, if my team was doing really bad on one side of the map, because it almost played like Frontlines, like where we almost spawned, consistently in that same little area. But if we were doing, like, bad on that side, I would
Which mode are you talking about?
Just deathmatch. I would sneak around. Because I got
the opposite experience.
Go lay down. I would do the, I would, like, sneak and run to the other side and try to stay in their spawn, just hidden, to force a spawn change, to be like, don't spawn near me,
Flip
spawn.
The spawns. Yeah.
And it would take so long.
I got the issue where the spawn areas were so sprawling on every map that I would spawn and just be not only not near any of the enemies, but not near any of my teammates. So I then had to, like, run over to my teammates. And sometimes, just because people will move in whatever direction they're going to move, I end up getting spawned closer to enemies. So
see, I didn't notice that at all. I mean, I could have just been lucky. Could have gotten lucky. Secondary attachment.
I'll say it was specifically on one map that kept happening. It was the one with the
Gibraltar.
I don't think so. It was the one that was really. It had that narrow area in the middle with, like, the 2 buildings that had been.
That's the one that it didn't happen to me at all.
That happened to me there every single time I was getting spawned near an enemy, or like 12 steps from one.
I was thinking of the Gibraltar or the one in the forest. With the
one in the forest, I can kind of see why it would be happening because it's a pretty small map.
Yeah, there was one map that I only played once, and I never got to play it again. But it was like the beachside bunkers and stuff.
Oh, dude, Point du Hoc.
Yeah, I got to play it once.
I actually really liked that one because it was trench warfare.
I did too, and I only played it once.
I'm sorry, people, but these are the facts. If you're not going to have mobility options, make a corridor shooter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, those tight corners and stuff like that feels exciting. That feels good. Having the big sprawling things while you're a slow, normal human being who has to keep stopping his sprint to breathe, that feels like a marathon.
They need to increase the sprint duration, because it is like way too slow on some or way too short on some characters. You know, I'm kind of hoping they go back to like the Modern Warfare. There's a map on Modern Warfare 2 that was really good. It was like the big open.
Oh, you mean like every map in Modern Warfare 2?
It was like a big open like field, but then they had like the trenches and everything like beneath that you could have the sniper play.
What was that?
There's like a helicopter, a graveyard, a church.
Yeah. Wasn't that? It was one of the best Spec Ops maps. I remember.
Yeah, I really liked it. Let's see. Secondary attachment makes sense to have one as a standard, because why use the duelist perk just to get a Kimbo on pistols, which only takes up one attachment? I'm not 100% sure what that's trying to say.
Yeah, me neither.
Basic training. The ability to have two. This new system can be balanced using the Pick 10 systems.
I just realized what they meant by that. You can't have any attachments on pistols unless you equip the basic training that lets you have two attachments on pistols.
Ooh.
So just give us the one by default, and then have the perk be us getting an extra one. Yeah, that didn't really make any sense to me. I think I was confused by that. For a while, I must have just been convinced that there were no attachments on sidearms. That's why I thought there wasn't a Kimbo.
Oh, okay. Huh. I didn't notice it. Basic training. The ability to have two. This new system can be balanced using the Pick 10 system's 3 groups of perks instead of just a straight 15 of perks to mix and match.
Yeah. Definitely at least 2, maybe even 3, because right now the soldiers just, they can't do enough. Like, you don't...
Yeah.
This is what I was saying earlier. There aren't enough options for each individual character.
Yeah. Footsteps, a sound reduction for the footsteps of teammates. As of now, teammates' footsteps are very audible, but enemies seem to be dead silent most of the time.
Yeah. Footsteps need to be louder. That, or they need to include a perk that silences teammate footsteps and amplifies enemy footsteps.
Let's see. I don't agree with this one. Ambient noise. Slight reduction will aid in hearing battle chatter, footsteps, gunshots, etc.
Oh, who cares? It was so good.
Yeah, that's my 10 is gun balance, obviously.
I say have a slider in the audio options to turn down ambience, because I'm going to keep that thing cranked.
Yeah. Gun balance. Slightly faster ADS times across the board.
Oh, yes, please. It's way too slow. Even with the perk that makes you aim... Even with Quick Draw, it's still... Like, Quick Draw in World War II is still slower than the ADS in Modern Warfare 1.
Yeah, so this rewards reaction time. Let's see. SMG needs mid-long range reductions across the board. We said that. Assault rifle, semi-auto should have increased fire rate cap.
Yeah, it's way too slow. Especially for the M1A1 carbine. It's very slow.
LMG, double the ammo capacity in each clip from about 60 to 100. I definitely agree with that, because I was trying to use the LMGs and was like, it takes so long to reload that I was having to reload almost after every fight, and I was like, this is not...
Yeah, not only did it have significantly slower LMG reloads than I've seen in COD for a while, but the magazine capacity just didn't justify it.
Yeah, I think the one I was using had like 53. I was like, well, that's not a lot.
Yeah, that's not an LMG capacity.
Especially when you're going from like 200 in Black Ops 3 to like...
Right.
Which I know they don't have to be like that high, but...
at least maybe 80.
Yeah, also says increase the damage / range to be more competitive with assault rifles.
Yeah, LMGs were borderline useless.
Yeah. Let's see, shotguns. This is a pretty long one, so I'll just get through the whole thing. Increased range on regular shells. As of now, they are useless hit marker machines without incendiary rounds. The damage dealt over time with incendiary rounds should be lowered to prevent kill swapping. This can be balanced with an increase in base incendiary rounds damage. Hip fire spread should be reduced across the board for shotguns. As of now, it almost always requires ADS to get a consistent one-shot kill in the effective range.
Yep.
Toggle action shotgun damage needs a major increase. As of now, it is by far the worst gun in the game.
Yeah.
It should carry a consistent 2 to 3 shot kill within the effective range.
Yeah, it was a marshmallow cannon.
Yeah, that's almost all the guns. The first time I played it, were I think they were like updating it.
They updated it a couple times on the last day they had it.
Yeah, that's the day I played it the most. So, oh, here's one menu. Make it a lot easier to know when someone joined your party.
How about fix the menu?
Bring back online split screen.
Whoa, what? They don't have online split screen?
Apparently not. Online split screen. This needs to come back for... Well, it was also in beta. They didn't have online split screen in Black Ops 3
you're
beta
right,
either.
You're right, okay.
Or Infinite Warfare, so that's a stupid... Game modes. Team Deathmatch score limit should be slightly lowered to a number between 75 and 100.
Oh, yes. No, it should be 75. 100 is way too long.
Domination score per kill should be lowered to 75. This will prevent score streak spam and encourage objective play.
Yeah, okay, I didn't get to this, but Domination was trash in this game. Domination is my favorite mode, and it was unplayable in this because you're hardly encouraged to actually play the objective. You get plenty of score from just playing Team Deathmatch in Domination, to where you'll get all your score streaks because there's people who are stupid enough to be trying to win the game.
How dare they? In addition, Domination flag capture status should be shown on screen.
Why? That's really annoying.
Matchmaking. No skill-based matchmaking in public matches. Connection matchmaking is more fair. In addition, don't give the best players in the lobbies all the noobs to carry during the game. This is not fun. It does not reward skill. The ability to see if a game is in progress 5 seconds before joining it, like in Infinite Warfare, would be appreciated.
Yeah.
Visuals. Scoreboard should count assist. Colorblind filter should return. Players have some sort of health bar, like in Infinite Warfare, to see the damage you dealt to the enemy.
That won't happen.
This can even just be placed in the kill cam.
No.
A more fluid YY reload cancel animation is needed.
A lot of the handling stuff is way too sluggish right now. Yeah. In my opinion.
Score streaks. Please have a Call of Duty Black Ops 3 hater type recon score streak. In addition, 3 friendly UAVs simultaneously should grant a hater score streak effect.
I agree with that part, definitely.
Bring back attack dogs. Should be the highest score streak in the game. Yeah, that'd be fun. A 30 gun streak secret atomic bomb kill streak would be welcomed. Should kill the entire team upon delivery, just like Advanced Warfare DNA bomb. Fighter pilot should get kills in 2 hits all the time unless shooting through a surface. Mortar team should have a blast radius increase or the ability to select 4 or 5 strike locations. Care package should be refunded if drop location is inaccessible, rooftop, or outside the map. I agree with most of those.
Yeah, I think a lot of the score streaks needed to be buffed. Like they were way too weak, and that was something that kind of hurt Ghosts. Was that most of the score streaks were just weak.
You know, this is something I did see. Oh yeah, Ghosts had terrible score streaks. In the times I played it.
Yeah. They fixed it cool, though? 2 years later.
Oh, the perfect time. Just when everyone was about to get back in the Ghost. What was I supposed to say? 12. What was cool about the care packages was they come down with like the parachute. You can shoot that parachute.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was like,
however, gives away your position unless you had a silenced SMG. So once again, Airborne was the best division because of the
Airborne was easily the best. I'd say Airborne or the Sniper, in my opinion, were the best because I was either getting killed with an SMG or a sniper. Like there was like no middle ground.
Or if you wanted to play knife only, you choose infantry, the logical choice.
Yeah, the STG 44 was pretty good, or whatever that gun was called.
Yeah, I think the STG is probably the best non-SMG weapon.
Yeah. I think that does it, though. That's,
yeet.
Got all our I wanted to say, it's a rumor that the Joker solo film by Scorsese is going to focus on the Joker as a child, which would mean that
I don't think Leo could pull that off.
Which means that Leo would probably be a mobster, like a Falcone type.
Oh, okay. I could see that too.
Yeah, that's more realistic to me than him being the Joker, because nothing about him screams Joker to me.
Yeah.
But he could be a very intimidating mobster, because we've seen him be very intimidating
in Django, and kind of be a mobster.
Yeah, I mean, basically. Plus, he breaks glass and doesn't feel it.
Yeah. We're not gonna explain that. That's just gonna be for people who know.
Ow, Willa.
It's the dog uprising.
I was gonna say. War for the Planet of the Apes is being pushed for a Best Picture nomination at Oscars.
Cool. I should maybe see it.
Yeah, that would be
out
sweet
on video,
too.
Right?
Because not yet.
Okay.
Let me see. Joaquin Phoenix is apparently in some kind of new movie that's supposed to be pretty awesome too.
Is he actually real?
I don't know. I don't think so. War of the Planet of the Apes is still showing in a theater, so
okay.
At least one theater I can see. Oh no,
maybe,
here they are. Chicago.
Maybe I should try and see that.
I really won't. It doesn't have a Rotten Tomatoes score yet, and it's really bothering me.
I'm still gonna see it regardless. If suddenly the Rotten Tomatoes says 12, I'm gonna be like, y'all, I gotta see that happen.
Yeah,
trailers are too good.
Now. It's got an 8.6 on IMDb right now.
That's a very good sign.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna go see it like on a weekday.
What? Like
yeah, I don't want to go see it like on opening weekend because I already know the story, so it's not like I'm gonna have anything spoiled for me.
Also, weekend horror movie audiences are the worst.
Yeah, especially in movies. If I was gonna go see some trash like Annabelle Creation, not saying actually I heard it's pretty good, but if I was gonna see like
I was gonna see some trash references something that's pretty well liked.
But I'm saying, say something that's not something I care about story-wise. I don't care about Annabelle Creation. It probably has some good scares and some good, like... I'd go see Insidious 4 on opening weekend, but not it. It looks like a film.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, very pretentious. It's a film, not a movie.
We watch films. Oh, how cute you think they're movies. Think about how childish the word movie sounds. Oh, because the picture moves?
I'll tell you that in a second once we're done recording. Alright, I guess that's it.
Shocking content, unmonetized.
Unmonetized. Alright. Peace, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to end it right now. It's over, episode 14.
It's over. Bag. No more episodes. This is the last one.
WB is actually ran by Lucifer.